So symbol is all about inspiration, it's about uniting people, so it's all about more looking at the things that unite us rather than the things that separate and divide us. So our main aim is to support third culture individuals. Third culture individuals is not a new concept, and I did not come up with this, but this incredible woman, Ruth Hussein, who wrote about this in the 1950s. So she did phenomenal research on the third culture concept when she was classified herself as a military brat, constantly moving from one city to the other, never feeling like she ever belongs anywhere. So she wrote about the third culture kids, and through the years she started increasing her research into broader spaces of, and that's what we are here to talk about, what this third culture individuals is, because we oftentimes, the most obvious, good morning Kelly, the most obvious one would be, for instance, people like myself who are from South Africa now living in Scotland, but you would be also pleasantly surprised that some of you who hold a British passport might also be considered a third culture individual. And for an example that I like to use is, say you were born and raised in the heart of city centre London, and now you find yourself with a tiny little west coast hamlet in Scotland. Completely different culture, right? You are also a third culture individual. So if you think about the opposite word of belonging, good morning.
Good morning, sorry.
No problem. So if you think of the opposite word of belonging is strange, is estrangement. And so you find yourself in an environment that is not your familiar environment. So this is what we'll be doing today. It's all about unity and belonging. So you're in for a real treat because we've got some incredible speakers and panel speakers and keynote who's going to be sharing all their words of wisdom, and we're going to got some fun activities planned for you later today, so don't you worry about that. There is, however, I like to break rules, but the two rules that I never break, and none of you are allowed to break today. One, be open-minded. Okay? So it's the first rule. Just release all your preconceived ideas and thoughts and expectations of what you think should be and shouldn't be. And the second one, enjoy the process. Have fun. Okay, we're here to play, we're here to learn about each other, so just relax and enjoy. So I'm going to share a little story with you on the art or the power of curiosity. And if we think about belonging and inclusivity, the number one key is to have curiosity. It was 3 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. The sun was bursting through the clouds, cold and shivering. It's a normal day for Scotland. and the school bells rang. And like a pinata bursting open, it was just little children running around everywhere. And among these little children was a special boy. And his name was Ollie. Now little Ollie is as wild as they come. And he was also running around trying to find his parents. But what makes this little boy special for this day? He's got a very special little gift waiting for him. You see, when he was 2 years old, he left his home country. Everything he's known, his friends, his family, his toys, his favorite foods, his favorite shop, his favorite beaches, everything that he holds dear and familiar, he left behind and now come and make home in this new and strange world that his parents call home. Now there's two things that little Ollie likes, like a lot. One, so this is little Ollie, is sweets. He likes sweets, like a lot. And the other thing that he likes is his little granny. Now sweets he can get every day of the week, but his granny he can only get to have on Sunday afternoon when they do a virtual Skype. Now don't worry about Ollie, he's as robust and resilient as they come. And on this day, this beautiful day, he went running out looking for his parents. And he spotted them, but then he saw something different. Tilted his little head to the left, tilted to the right, he squinted his little eyes, and his whole body just like lighted up. And he ran as fast as he could. And he came to his mommy and he whispered to her, out of breath. Is she mine? Is she mine? Now, by this time, there's not a dry tear inside. And the mommy is hugging him and saying, yes, she is yours. And he came running to his mommy, to his granny. There's his granny for the first time he's seen her in years. And he's so excited, he's shouting to everyone, she's mine, she's my granny. We've got a little, unfortunately the sound doesn't work. Is she mine? The most powerful 3 little words spoken from innocence. And these 3 words for me is what it truly means to belong. It's all about the connection that we seek in each other. It's when you look at each other from one heart, open heart, to another open heart, you don't see all the outside facades that we put up on a daily basis. It's just that deeper connection and that shared values that makes us all united and connected. And true belonging is the opportunity to be truly safe, to be who you are. Because we all, sometimes we have to, when we experience new experiences, we have to try so hard to fit in and adapt that sometimes we lose ourselves in the process, right? And that's not true belonging and inclusion. It's when you can do this from a place of curiosity, then things will change. You can move from a place of fear-driven thoughts to a place of curiosity-driven thoughts, where you can see the questions or the situation in hand. You can look at it from a place of what if, with a little bit of excitement, instead of that fear and about interaction. So you can just breathe today. I want you just to take a deep breath in and out. It's all about relaxing today, and I want you to just relax and open your minds to what we could potentially connect with today. So when we look at the word curiosity, it stands for curiositas. Don't pronounce it coming, you can you can say the beautiful Italian accent for us. But it's a desire of knowledge. And when you have a desire for knowledge, what needs to happen? You need to be open-minded, you need to have space. Who of you have recently studied? You have. Any of you recently studied a new program? Yes, Debbie, it's a lot, eh? You've got to make space in your mind for all this new information that is coming in. Now, some of you have children. Any of you got little children or adults? Yeah, who worked with children. Now, remember that fabulous time when they turned 2, the terrible 2s, and they asked those many thousands, 100,000 questions. It doesn't end. It's like, whoa. And what do we as adults do? We pull out our superpower and pretend that we can't hear it. I just had enough. We can't do it. And that's fine. We all do it. We've all been through it. Now the problem is, when our curiosity becomes silenced, then we should be worried because the questions stop coming in. And that is, chances are high, these disengaged or children who lost their sense of curiosity will become disengaged adults. And that is when the siren should be going on. There was quite a bit of research done on this topic, and they worked out now recently, the latest stats is 1 out of 4 people in this room. So 1 out of 4 people are suffering from mental health issues. Right now, 60% of the employees said that they feel emotionally detached. Yet only 13% feel confident enough or have the courage to talk about it openly. And that's what happens when we become disengaged. Now you don't have to worry, because there's a solution, there's a key. And the inventor and the curious person or the creative that you've been looking for in other people is you. It's already inside of you. You just need to switch on. Turn that little light of curiosity in. Start asking those questions. Put yourself forward. So we always have, what is so important about curiosity? Well, this, if you look at the statistics, and there's thousands, Journal of Neuron Psychologies, you've got increased memories. You are happier. You've got stronger relationships. And your journey more successful just by being curious. Can we really afford not to be more curious? And curious people have more resilience, more fulfillment, and more creativity. Curiosity is your gateway to creativity. So, I don't have a jar here. I was going to bring a jar, and then, life happens. So I want you to imagine that your mind is a jar, okay? And they are filled with these heavy stones, okay? So you've got, normally in a jar, you've got your sand, you've got your grit, and you've got your heavy stones. Now your heavy stones is like your fear, feeling unworthy, having resentment, feeling hopeless, powerless. It's these heavy emotions that's weighing you down. It's not adding anything to your life. But they've always been there. How do you get rid of them? Well, quite simple. Just pick them out. You just remove those stones. Now I want you to, for a second, just imagine that thing, that thought that is weighing you down, that is not serving you, that is not making you a better, happier, healthier, stronger person. What is that thing? You don't have to share it, but I want you to think of that word that pops in your head. What is keeping you stuck? I want you to imagine that you wrote it on that stone, just that big stone. You wrote that word, you lift it out your mind and remove it. Do you feel a little bit of a relief? Do you feel like a little bit, that's a little bit lighter? And you can keep doing that practice until you've removed all your heavy stones. The smaller grit is the everyday thing that's been building on throughout your life. It's jealousy, self-criticism, avoidance, comparison. Oh, we hate that one. Doubt, feeling unmotivated, being insincere, fear, always fear. What is the words that you can remove? What grit can you remove from your mind? 70,000 on average thoughts per day. Did you know this? No. Can you, honestly,
It's a busy mind.
it's a busy mind. And you know what's so beautiful about this is when you've got thoughts in your mind, you oftentimes think, yeah, that's true. 70,000 thoughts. Do you think they're all true? No ways. It's impossible, right? It's impossible. You need to start ditching those assumptions. Hey, we all need to do that. I know, I need to. Remove that assumption that every single thought that comes in your mind is true, because it's not. It's not true, it's just a thought. The beauty of thoughts can be changed. And this, our sand is influenced by outside people, outside influences like your media, social media, news. It's all the things that is weighing you down. It's disasters that's happening all over the world, and you know what we're doing? We're teaching that for kids at school. Go and sit and watch the news round. Be aware of the world, about the horrible things that's happening in the world. Why? Why? Family, your genetics. What's the stories that's been told to you as a child? Honeycomb doesn't grow on trees, right? It's just stories. So what can you remove from your sand to get better thoughts? Because this is what we want. We want beautiful, healthy, happy, colourful, bright crystals. This is what you want to put in your mind. You want creativity, you want love, you want joy, happiness, all those things that we like, it's unattainable, it's for other people. No, it's for you, it's for all of us. This is what we want. This is what you want to put in your mind so you can have more happiness and love and creativity and confidence and clarity and be inspired. So pick your favourite crystal and put it in your mind. Yeah. There's a beautiful little baby in a fox suit. So he is one thing, and the fox is another representation. Or the other word, the swear word, and I'm sorry, please excuse my language on stage. Imposter syndrome. It's the horrible word that we can't speak about. And you all know what that means, right? Pretending or feeling like you're an imposter. Like what you are putting out to the world is not real. You feel like a fraud, that someone's going to find you out. And you oftentimes find that with the most successful people, and they just put up this mask and pretending that they are someone, something that they're not. Now, I experienced imposter syndrome for the first time in my life, 3 years ago when I came to the UK. Like I normally, when I say I'm going to do something, I just go and do it. And all of a sudden, I've got like a list of tasks that fills an entire room. I just couldn't get them done. And before I know it, I was doubting every single thought and action I was doing. I did not trust myself. I was experiencing this dreaded imposter syndrome. And I had to dig deep and had to start doing some proper research again. Like, what does the happiest and most successful people in the world do? What is their secrets? What is their techniques, strategies that they use? Because surely there's an answer. I've not experienced it before, so this is not normal. There must be a different way. I was very pleasantly surprised that probably about 70% of what I learned from here is things that I've tried before. And this is when I created the Self-Mastery Habits Blueprint, which is all about managing change. Now, you'll see there's a 10th step that you go through. And this 10th step was what I did 6 years ago when I went through my first massive transformational period. And from working 60 hours a week, I went down to working 3 days and earning double than what I did before. So it's possible. It's possible. I've done it. I've seen it before. But with life, with challenges, with change, it's constant, right? And I forgot everything that I've worked so hard for to believe in change and implement in my life. And that's why I created this, and I would like to invite all of you to participate in our program, which is starting tomorrow. So what I needed to do first was challenge my comfort zone. Now, comfort zone, a lot of people say, oh, but it's good to be in your comfort zone because it keeps you safe. Yeah, for a little bit. But what is impossible when you stay in your comfort zone?
You can't learn, you can't grow.
Yes, exactly. I think we discussed that last night about a group of teenagers. There might be, I don't know if you had the cool crowd in school, in high school, who was like, the cool kids, and you always wanted to be friends with them, but you weren't cool enough to crack the nod, or maybe you were there, hope not. And as you grow up 10 years later, you see them again, and what happened? Haven't changed. Exactly the same person, 20 years, 30 years, staying within comfort zone, and that's fine. If you want that, if that's the kind of life that you want, then that's fine. But if you want to grow, if you want to be curious, if you want to innovate, if you want to be the most creative, the best version of who you are and live on purpose and happiness, then you've got to challenge your comfort zone. Engage with the world. Become curious. Ask questions. So these are the 3 questions that you can ask yourself when you go through a period of change. The first one is, where does this assumption or story come from? So oftentimes, remember I said there's a thought that comes in your mind, so let's use this example of perhaps you feel that you can't earn a certain income. You don't want to be classified as wealthy. Because wealthy people are bad people because money doesn't grow on trees. Where does that come from? It's a story. It's a story you've been told as a child because maybe your parents didn't have enough to give you what you wanted. They just said, oh, money doesn't grow on trees. And no, money doesn't grow on trees, but there's different ways of getting it, right? There's different stories. So where does this story or assumption that you've created in your mind that is preventing you from reaching your goals, hindering you? And the second one is it true? So where does it come from? Second question, is it true? Start asking questions. Be brave, be bold. And the third one is the one that normally gets us. It's what we're truly afraid of. It's the unknown. It's fear of the unknown. And it's fear of failure. We're so scared that if we go and put ourselves out there and we fail, then we're just not worth it, right? We shouldn't even be here. We shouldn't be sharing the room with people like this. Just go and hide in your corner. And it's good for you to sometimes be aware of your biases that you hold. I'm just mentioning 3 here, which is the confirmation bias, the halo effect, and stereotyping. So confirmation bias, for instance, would be if you are hiring a new person for your company and you went to the Napier University. So when you see on the CV that this person's also studied at Napier University, then you automatically think that this must be a good person because you share the same background, the same confirmation. It's that confirmation bias that it's good. It's recognizing the familiar around you. And the halo effect, it's so interesting, and the most successful criminals in the world, they know this one, this secret. So say for instance, someone come and knock on your door and they're wearing a beautiful suit. How likely are you to open the door for that person? Yeah.
I never opened the door.
Except this one. Be more like her.
I couldn't understand.
Not yet.
Sorry.
Well, the chances are high, probably 90%, that you will open the door because they're well presented. There must be something. There's status there. So there must be a good person. And if someone rocks up at your door with tattered clothes and broken shoes, you're not going to open the door for them because they want something from you, right? But if you see someone in a suit, then they think they're going to give you something. So it's the halo effect. Be aware of these little subconscious biases that we hold against ourselves and other people. Stereotype now, I'm deeply disappointed. And I'm like, yeah. When I came to Scotland, I expected that man. I wanted this redhead giant with a kilt, and walking around with a beautiful sword and a shield, because he's going to protect me as I walk through Scotland streets. And stereotypes. We've all got these kind of stereotypes that we hold against other people, assumptions that we make because of the fear of the unknown. Now, what if you can have clarity and confidence and walk towards your dreams, your goals, with positivity and clarity and confidence? Well, we can. Just by being more curious. That means being more open-minded and engaging. And that, in the end, will give you a sense of true belonging and inclusivity. And if you can practice these traits at home or at your workplace, you will see a vastly different effect in your community when you just try these little techniques. So we're going to all do a little dance. You can all get up. It's very gentle, don't worry. So I'm going to teach you the cha-cha-cha dance. The cha-cha dance from Eurovision. Who's seen Eurovision? Have you seen that guy? Cha-cha-cha. No, not that one. So this one is the cha-cha-cha. When you're busy adapting, there's 3 steps that you can do. Well, it's 5 steps. So we're going to first take a step back. This is the introspection. You take a step back. What happens the minute when you take a step back? So what's the first thing that happens when you take a step back?
You see more.
Yes. You see things from a different angle, right? You don't see the familiar. And that is the questions that you ask. What are you doing? How did you get here? So you look at where you come from and where are you going? So if you take a step back, you can ask yourself those 3 questions and then you bring your knees together. And we're going to shuffle the knees. I'm going to, who wants to, my African queen. So you're going to do reset. So reset is clearing your mind. You clear your mind of all these assumptions and things that's going through your head. And then second knee, shake the second knee, and that's research. Now you've got to go and find out the information. Do that without your stereotype, without your confirmation bias. Get clear, good information. Then the third knee, go forward, and that's reach. Then shuffle. Third time you put your knee forward. That is reach. So that's when you reach out to your network, your community, your mentors, your coaches, to get that information that you need. And then what do? One step forward, and you implement. Okay, so we've got introspection, reset, research, reach, implement. Introspection, reset, research, reach, implementation. Thank you, everyone.